Hello, everybody. I hope you are all well. I hope that you are enjoying Easter holidays. I decided to record this video because in the last few weeks, I think everybody is full of emotions, full of questions about the current situation in the world. Well, let's start the presentation, and I hope you will enjoy it. My only goal of this presentation is to provoke you to ask questions, to make research, make your own research, find answers. Let's go. So the motto of this presentation is "In God we trust, all others bring data." We are looking at the news, we are looking at the media broadcast, we are seeing many videos, many footages, many articles that are moving our emotions, which is quite normal. We are seeing governments all over the world, also local governments, imposing more and more restrictions on citizens. Um, we are seeing a lot of our friends saying, stay at home, stay safe. I hope that everybody will stay safe. But in all of this media soup, I would say that it's very, very difficult to understand what is really true. And I will try to prove it in the next few minutes. So for me, the only way to stay sane, to really avoid me being misled, being lied to, is to look at the numbers. It's possible to manipulate the numbers. Many numbers, many data from many countries cannot be trusted, but still, just looking at the numbers is a much better way to understand the situation than listening to the mainstream narrative. First of all, I think we should identify who the enemy is, because everybody now is talking about the SARS-CoV-2 virus, about the Covid-19 sickness. But I think that the real enemy now is not outside, it's not a virus. The real enemy is inside of us. It's our emotions, it's the state of mind, and how our mind and our emotions are in the end influencing our immune system. Fear is causing the increase of cortisol, which is shutting down, literally shutting down the immune system. Despair and depression, which I see around of me, also I can see it in myself, they are weakening the immune system. Stress, it's rising the cortisol level, shutting down the immune system. I could add to this lack of exercise. Well, I would like to make a little example of what I call fear mongering. And let's look at the New York mass graves story that has been very, very popular in the last few days, all over the world, all over the news. I just gathered here a few links from BBC, Global News, New York Times, Sky. They are all repeating and sharing the same information about the mass graves in New York and how New York City is not able to deal with the amount of dead people and how they are dumping the victims of the COVID-19 in the mass graves. But do they? Well, make your own research. Don't trust me. Verify everything that I'm saying. Question everything that I'm saying. Please don't trust me. Don't trust anybody. Think, research, ask questions, find answer, see what is making sense. So, first of all, Hart Island, as far as I know, has been used as a burial site for 150 years. So, it's nothing new. They have been using it for 150 years to bury people who are homeless, people without families, people whose bodies have not been claimed by friends, families, whoever. This is a standard procedure. This has been a standard procedure for 150 years. On the official website of the Hart Island Project, we read, "Welcome to the Hart Island Project. Since 1980, 68,955 people have been buried in mass graves on Hart Island." The Traveling Cloud Museum, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what is happening now? It's not different from what was happening 1 month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago, 30 years ago, or even 100 years ago. If we spend 30, maybe 60 seconds making a little research, online research, we can come across an article saying, no, New York City is not running out of burial space due to COVID-19. I will not quote the whole article. Please Google, search for it, read the whole story. And the bottom line is, yes, homeless people who are dying for whatever reason, like they have been dying every day for the last 150 years, are being buried in Hart Island. I've seen my friends sharing this news and contributing to the mass hysteria and fear-mongering. Please, before you share anything, verify it, check it. Trust no one. What can you do? Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself about the immune system, about what is a virus and how does it work, how does it affect your body. Make a research. If you are really helpless against the virus, if there is no medicine, if there is no vaccine, are we helpless? In the end, is a vaccine going to save you? And look at the data. Understand the data. Understand how to read it and to make any sense of it. Well, one more thing. I've seen a lot of information starting like more or less 6 weeks ago, all over the news, all over the mass media, in the mainstream media. Doctors say that boosting your immune system will not prevent you against COVID-19. Improving your immune system will not prevent you against COVID-19. What? Excuse me? What? Why? our immune systems have been successfully defending us against viruses, bacteria for millions of years. Come on, people. This virus is nothing special. Coronaviruses, different mutations of coronaviruses have been running all over the world. People are getting infected. The immune system is working. People are getting sick. The immune system is working. People are getting better. As far as I know, and prove me wrong, this virus is not very different from any other coronavirus that has been going around in the last, let's say, 100 years. So if the immune system is our first line of defense, and we can go to PubMed, read the official research on PubMed. Don't trust me. Don't trust people on the internet saying, "Oh, this is working. This is working. Eat this fruit. Drink this potion. You will get better. This is the cure." No. Go to an official research site. Go to PubMed. Check the research. If somebody's telling you, take vitamin C will help you, don't trust him. Check it. And then you will find dozens of official researches saying, yes, vitamin C is helping in viral infections. Vitamin A is helping to prevent infections and to improve immune system, especially the respiratory system. This is helping, that is helping. A few weeks ago, I saw a discussion on Facebook about a pastor trying to make money in USA, selling to people colloid silver and claiming that this is the cure for coronavirus. Is it a cure for coronavirus? No, it's not. But is it a total bullshit? We don't know. Let's go to PubMed. Put over there, colloid silver virus. And guess what? You will find dozens of researchers confirming that yes, silver particles are destroying viruses. So don't reject any information until you prove it wrong. Or don't accept any information until you prove it right. Don't get fooled by anybody. Verify, check, question, think, make questions, search for answers. I would like to make just one slide about how the viruses are basically killing people. On the first, there is a link. This information comes from the New Scientists, and it's about the cytokine storm. So I will just read what is here. Diseases such as COVID-19 and influenza can be fatal due to an overreaction of the body's immune system called a cytokine storm. Cytokines are small proteins released by many different cells in the body, including those of the immune system, where they coordinate the body's response against infection and trigger inflammation. The name cytokine is derived from the Greek words for cell, cyto, and movement, kinos. Why is this important? We will come back to this slide at the end of the presentation, but for now, I want you to understand the virus is not killing anybody. What is killing people is the immune system that is getting crazy. And why is it getting crazy? It can get crazy because we are having a weak immune system, because we are lacking certain vitamins or minerals that are necessary for the immune system to fight the disease. It can also get crazy as a result of vaccines. Every vaccine is influencing the immune system. As a result, the immune system can become overreactive. Don't trust me on this either. Research, verify. So what is making the immune system stronger? What is making the immune system weaker? Healthy diet. Healthy diet, this is the medicine. The medicine is not pills. The medicine is not a vaccine. The medicine is the healthy diet. Vitamins, mostly vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D3, vitamin E. Again, there is an information that seems quite legitimate that in China, they have been using vitamin C, intravenous vitamin C, to treat people with coronavirus successfully. I'm talking 12 to 24 grams of vitamin C per day. I cannot be 100% sure if this is true, but even if this is not true, trust me on this, the vitamin C can help you and will not hurt you. If you take 24 grams of vitamin C per day, this is far below the dosage that can hurt you. Vitamin D3, extremely important for the immune system. Vitamin D3 is produced by our body when we are exposed to the sun. If we are not being exposed to the sun, get vitamin D3 in oils, get vitamin D3 in pills, vitamin E. Again, I don't want to go now into details how those vitamins work, what they do, how they help you. I would like you to make your own research. Go to PubMed, research vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D3, vitamin E, whatever other vitamins you want. You can research how zinc is important for the immune system and other minerals as well. Make your own research. Third, rest and sleep. You cannot be well if you are tired, if you are not having enough good, healthy sleep, if you don't rest. Exercise. Your body needs movement. We have not been created to lie down on the couch, lie down on the sofa, lie down on the bed. We need movement, we need work, our bodies need effort. And in the end, fresh air and sun exposure. Everybody's telling now, stay at home, stay at home, stay at home. I will tell you, if this goes on for the next 1 or 2 years, like some people are predicting, everybody will be dead. We need sun, we need fresh air, we need movement, we need social life. If we don't get it, we get weaker and sicker. So what is weakening our immune system? Again, bad diet, sugar and carbohydrates. Sugar is triggering if we are eating or drinking, especially in drinks like Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, whatever cola. The amount of sugar we are receiving is enormous, enormous. Again, make a research about it. The amount of sugar in a cola drink is so great that normally we would not be able even to drink it. But the sweet taste has been neutralized by the phosphoric acid that is in cola. So we are able to swallow this. But still, this sugar arrives to the body is triggering an enormous release of insulin in our body. Insulin is blocking the growth hormone that is basically responsible for the immune system. So to simplify it, you eat sugar, you turn off, you shut down your immune system. Don't do it. Another very important factor, gluten. A lot of people are gluten sensitive without even knowing it. Gluten is creating a lot of inflammation in our bodies. Our immune system is fighting the inflammation, is not able to respond in the correct way to other problems. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Make sure that your diet is having all the essential vitamins and minerals. If it doesn't, take supplements. I personally, I'm using a very nice application, little nice application on my phone. It's called the Deficiency Finder. There are a few applications that are basically doing the same. You put your symptoms, then you answer several questions about if you have or don't have other symptoms. And those applications are suggesting you what mineral or vitamins deficiencies you might have. And you will be surprised how many very strange physical symptoms can be or are caused by simple mineral or vitamin deficiencies. Of course, again, the immune system is compromised by stress, depression, lack of sun, lack of exercise, lack of sleep. This is extremely important. Even if you want to stay at home, please make sure that you are exposed to the sun, that you are breathing fresh air, that you are having exercise, that you are moving your body. What is happening all over the world and what has happened now, I'm calling this the outsourcing of power. So we don't feel powerful anymore, we feel powerless. And we are outsourcing the power to the doctors, pharmaceutical companies, pills, vaccines, you name it. People have survived on this planet for millions of years without any of those things. What happened? What happened? Suddenly, there is a virus. Nobody knows the vaccine. We don't have the vaccine. We don't have the medicine. We are all going to die. Ah! Are we? Please. If this is the case, the human race would get in extinct many, many millions years ago. So think a little bit. We have an immune system that has been dealing, that is dealing with viruses, bacteria, cancer cells, all the time, all the time. We don't need a vaccine for our immune system to know how to deal with COVID-19 or any other disease. And then, don't get me wrong, I'm not completely against vaccines. I'm not. I went to India 13 years ago. I got the vaccines. I vaccinated against the hepatitis. I vaccinated against cholera. I vaccinated myself against polio. Why? Because you really don't want to get infected with any of those diseases because they can literally kill you. And even if they don't kill you, they can leave you disabled for the rest of your life. So don't be stupid. If there is a vaccine against a serious, potentially deadly or devastating disease, get vaccinated. Don't expose yourself to danger. But do you have to vaccinate yourself every year against the flu? Really? Really? I don't think so. So my point is, take the responsibility for your health. Take the responsibility for your stay healthy program. Take the responsibility for your diet, for your daily habits, for your sleep, for your exercise, for the nutrition that you receive, vitamins, minerals, and educate yourself. Search for information, ask questions, think on your own. Don't wait for the doctor to tell you what to do. The doctor doesn't care. He wants to make money. He doesn't care. It's your responsibility, not his. It's your life, your body, your responsibility. Make choices that are making your body strong and healthy. And trust in your immune system. Against staying powerless. Oh, I don't know. I don't trust myself. I need to ask the doctor. Of course, you don't know anything about many things. So make a research. We are now connected to the internet. We can get access to information in seconds. Make a research. Search for information. Understand the information. Talk to the experts. I'm not saying don't talk to the experts, but don't forget, the one who is responsible for your choices is you and only you. And don't blame anybody. And don't expect anybody to save you. Also, please don't believe that without the medicine, without the vaccine, you are helpless. You are not. You have an immune system that knows very well how to deal with most of the diseases, most of the uh, viruses or bacteria. Do you have to take an antibiotic every time you are getting sick? No. Many people don't even know it. Antibiotics, they don't work against viruses. They work against bacteria. If you have a viral infection and you take an antibiotic, you will only make your body weaker. You will make your immune system weaker. And even if you have a bacterial infection, do you have to take the antibiotic every time? You don't have to take the antibiotic. Your body will deal with this. If you take the antibiotic every time you get stuffed nose, your body will become lazy. Your immune system will become lazy. And then you will be more and more weak. Please, think on your own. The vaccination. This is the official graph from the official website of the American CDC. Seasonal flu vaccine efficiency. Effectiveness. Well, this graph is very optimistic. 60%, 56, 47. Well, season 2014, 15, 19, not so great. But then 48 again. Well, again, the last season, not so great, 29% effectiveness. But look here, we have an article from Telegram. CDC data shows 9% vaccine effectiveness for influenza A virus H3N2 flu shot last year. Those flu shots will not protect you against getting sick. Even worse, imagine that you get a flu shot in September, like most of people do. And let's say that the virus that is coming this year is exactly the virus that they put in the vaccine. And let's assume that your immune system will react positively to the vaccine and will protect you against this virus. Your immune system will work in an accelerated mode for the next 2-3 months. And then guess what? Your immune system will have to rest and your immunity will drop. And there is a big chance that you will get sick in January, February, March. Again, don't trust me on this. Make your own research. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Now, I would like to talk about COVID-19. And I will make my presentation based on the data from worldometers.info. You have updated data over there. The data is updated basically every few minutes. So it's up to date. So let's ask a simple question. What countries are the mostly affected ones? Let's look at the tables. We have a table. USA, more than 500,000 cases. Spain, Italy, France, Germany, China, UK, Iran, Turkey, Belgium, Switzerland, Netherlands, Canada, and so on. But is it really true? Is it really true that USA is the most affected country now, followed by Spain, followed by Italy? Yes, if we are looking at the total number of cases, we can come to this false conclusion. But why is it false? I will explain why is it false. But let's explore a second approach. Let's look at the, let's look at the total deaths. So number one is Italy, followed by USA, followed by Spain, France, UK, Iran, Belgium, China, Germany, Netherlands, Brazil, Turkey, Switzerland, and so on. Again, can we say that Italy is the country that is mostly affected by the coronavirus? No, this is also not really true, because what we have to look at is data per 1 million persons. Let's do this. Well, in the beginning, we have San Marino, Vatican City, Andorra, very small countries. We cannot look at this data, but then Luxembourg, Iceland, again. Okay, let's start with Spain, because this is where the data starts to make sense. 3,462 cases per 1 million of population. So I would say that Spain, for now, is the country mostly affected when it comes to the number of diagnosed infections. Please remember, diagnosed infections. Just behind Spain, we have Switzerland, 877 diagnosed cases. Look at the last column. How many tests are being done in Switzerland compared to Spain? So in Switzerland, we have 22,000 tests per 1 million of population compared to 7,500 in Spain. 3 times more tests have been done in Switzerland than in Spain. Italy. Total number of cases, big. Total cases per 1 million of population, 2,441. And this table is wrong to look at also. And you know why? Because even if we take into account the tests that are done per 1 million of population, we cannot be really sure how many people are sick over there, how many people are diagnosed. So the most reliable column to look at is the number of deaths per 1 million of population. Okay, let's forget San Marino. Spain, 350 deaths per 1 million of population. We will skip Andorra. Italy, 312 deaths per 1 million of population. I hope that you are putting the thing in proportion, like 350 per 1 million. Let it sink in. Make your counts. 350 per 1 million. And so on. I would like to talk here about one very interesting thing. I will not focus on this so much, but I think it's worth mentioning. So we have Spain, 350 cases of deaths per 1 million. We have Italy with 312 cases per 1 million. Belgium, France, 202 cases. Netherlands, UK, Switzerland. All of those countries have imposed very strict rules prohibiting, literally prohibiting people from going to the streets. Everything is closed over there. Police is running around chasing people who are going for a walk, alone, on the beach, in the forest. And then we have Sweden, 88 deaths per 1 million. I don't know if you know. If you don't know it, Google it. What is happening in Sweden? I will tell you, not so much. The country is running, the schools are open, the bars are open, cafes are open, restaurants are open, people are walking on the streets. This is happening in Sweden. And I'm looking at the numbers and the situation is in Sweden. I will not try to say that it's better, but it's not worse than in other countries. Okay? Think about it. So now the good question is how actually the COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2 virus is. And I will base my next few slides on the research done in the Göttingen University in Germany and on the website euromomo.eu, gathering the more or less up-to-date data about mortality in Europe. So first I would like to share you a very interesting and I would say extremely important research done in the Göttingen University. This research has been done just days ago based on the data from March 21st. So 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago. And I will make a summary of this study, of this research. So the summary is that by average, the number of diagnosed cases are just 6% of the infected population. 6% by average. That means that more or less we are dealing with 20 times more cases than the diagnosed cases. And why this is a good news? This is a good news for two reasons. The first reason is that the real mortality rate, because if you look at this table, total cases in Spain, 161,000. Total deaths, 16,000. What does it mean? We look at this data here. We come to the conclusion that 10% of people in Spain are dying because of COVID-19. 10%. That's not funny. Okay. Still 90% of us will survive, but 10%, it's quite a lot. In Italy, we have 147,000 diagnosed cases and almost 19,000 cases of people who died. This is more than 10%. This is what is putting people scared. And this is something that I can understand very well. But again, we have countries like, let me see if I have, yes, Germany. 122,000, less than 123,000 diagnosed cases, and less than 3,000 of cases of people who died. So this is less than 2%. How is this possible? How is this possible that in one country we are dealing with 12% mortality rate, in another country it's 2%? This is where the data doesn't make any sense. And this is where people start to ask questions. If you are smart, you are starting to make questions, because you should start making questions, because all of this doesn't make too much sense. Okay, so the scientists from the Göttingen University in Germany, they started to ask the same questions. And look at this beautiful table. This beautiful table means that the real number of infected people is much higher. It's more or less 20 times more than what is diagnosed. And again, why this is good? First of all, it means that the real infection fatality rate, the first column, look here, it's around 1%. It's 1% 38 in Italy. It's 121 in Spain. It's below 1% in USA. It's 120 in France, and so on. In Iran, it's less than 0.5%. Turkey, 0.55. Brazil, 0.59. Sweden, 1.15. And so on, right? So I would say that by average, it's 1%. This is the first good news. So 99 people of 100 who get infected will not die. This is good. Second, if the numbers of people who are infected, really infected, are so big, it means not only that this disease is not so deadly as everybody is trying to suggest, but that we are arriving to the moment that we are living in the society that is mostly immune to the disease. Well, again, look at the numbers. Italy, 3 million people, estimated numbers of infections. Well, maybe 3 million people in scale of Italy is not so much. Maybe 5 million people in scale of, or almost 600 million people in scale of Spain. Again, it's not so much. But this means that actually most of people who got infected never arrived to any hospital, never arrived to any doctor, maybe even didn't have any symptoms, got sick, got well. They are not infecting others anymore. They are not getting sick because the immune system has already identified the virus and they are out of the chain of spreading the virus. Well, this is very interesting. The mortality rate in Europe, week 14. Let's look at the graphs. So until 1 week ago, we didn't even observe this spike here in the mortality rate of people of 60, 65 plus. Now we can see there is a spike. I'm not saying there is no spike, there is a spike. But look at the graph. This spike, for now, it's not bigger than the spike in 2016, 2017. It's not much bigger than the spike in 2018. And the measures applied by the governments all over the world are completely out of the proportion to those graphs. I don't want to judge and say that we should not impose those measures. Maybe we should, I don't know. I'm just looking at the data, I'm looking at the numbers, and I don't see reasons for doing so. Prove me wrong, again, prove me wrong. But don't prove me saying, it's worth it, even saving one human life is worth making this. Please, this is bullshit. I will tell you one thing. We are all going to die. I am going to die, you are going to die, everybody you love is going to die. And there is nothing wrong about it. This is just how it is. We die because we get old, then we get sick and we die. Sometimes we get sick when we are young and we die. Sometimes kids are getting sick and they die. I will tell you one thing. I'm a little bit into genealogy and family trees. I've been making my family tree for more than 10 years already. And I'm not only making the trees, but I'm reading family stories. But even making the trees and putting people over there, finding raw data, I will tell you, 100 years ago, people used to have 10, 12, 15 children, and 10 of them were dying. This is how life used to be 100 years ago. I'm not saying that we should go to what it was 100 years ago, but we should really understand how privileged we are. We are living in Europe or in America, in USA, Canada. The fatality rate among newborn children is extremely low. It's never been so low. The fatality rate among children is low. And the fatality rate again among all people is low. But still people are dying. People are dying because of many reasons. 2 years ago, Leonard Cohen was walking down the stairs. He fell. A few days later, he died in the hospital. It's a big loss to humankind. And every loss, every dead person is a loss to the family. Don't get me wrong. I completely empathize with people who are having family members who are dying for whatever reason. But only looking at the numbers can tell us if we are dealing with an increased number of dead people now, or if we are not. Again, go to the Euromomo website, research it for yourself. For now, I'm looking at the graphs here and I see There is no increased mortality rate in Austria. There is an increased mortality rate in Belgium. There is no increased above average mortality rate in Denmark, not in Estonia, not in Finland. Yes, there is an increased mortality rate now in France, but it's not much higher. No, it's not even higher than 4 years ago. In Germany, nothing on the graph. I don't see here anything. I don't see here anything in Greece, in Hungary, in Ireland. I see an increased rate in Italy. Again, it's higher than 4 years ago, but not so much higher. So yes, people are dying. In some countries, we see increased mortality rate, but it's far lower from what we can imagine looking at the news. Don't look at the news, look at the numbers, look at the data, analyze it, make a little bit of effort to understand what is happening based on the numbers, based on the raw data. Don't get manipulated. Again, let's put things into proportion. 2018, USA, number of deaths, almost 3 million people. That means 8,638 deaths per 1 million of population. Number of dead people because of COVID-19. This data comes from 1 hour ago, 20,608 cases. Rest in peace. Death rate, 57 deaths per 1 million of population. Well, maybe you will say we cannot compare the 57 cases in the last 2 or 3 months with the 8,638 cases in 2018. You are right. We will have to wait 1 year to really see this in the real scale. But again, this is giving a kind of bigger picture. This is putting things in proportion. 57 deaths, right, because of coronavirus. Let's look at the data from UK. 9,875 people died in UK. And I would like to compare this with the official data from UK about people who died in the year 2015, 2016, 2017 because of influenza or pneumonia as the underlying cause. This is the official data. So in 2015, 16, and 17, we are dealing with more or less 30,000 people who are dying per year annually in those countries. This means more or less 80-something people dying per day. And this means 2,631 people dying per month. But before we come to any conclusions, I would like to show you the next slide. So this table here is showing the numbers where the influenza or pneumonia is the underlying cause, which means the person who died because of influenza or pneumonia. Point. That was the reason. If they didn't get sick with influenza or pneumonia, they would not die. Let's look at the next table that is even more interesting in this case. Number of deaths where influenza or pneumonia is mentioned anywhere on the death certificate. And in my understanding, this is actually the data that we should use making any comparisons. Why? Because if you go to the hospital and you are having hypertension, heart disease, and diabetes, you are 80 years old and you die over there, and they will make a diagnosis and diagnose you positively as a COVID-19 patient, you will go to those statistics. So we have to compare those statistics with exactly this table. And here we have more or less 8,500 cases per month by average in the previous years in UK. And this number that you see on the bottom, this 8,000 per month, I have calculated this number by dividing the big number by 12. But this is not really how the influenza is working. We know that we have the influenza season, which means that we have months in which almost nobody is dying because of influenza. And we have months in the winter, spring, autumn, winter, springtime, where much more people, many more people are dying, right? But even if we take this average number of 8,000 people dying per year, it's not so much less than this 9 or 10,000 people who died diagnosed with COVID-19. I would say that this number is, let's say 10,000 people who died because of COVID-19, it's inside of those numbers of influenza. 1 year, we have influenza caused by AH1N1. Another year, it's AH1N5 or other virus. This year, the influenza is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And again, influenza. Please go to the WHO, World Health Organization website, the link here, and read about the seasonal flu, seasonal influenza. I'm not making this data. I'm not making this up. I'm not taking this from Wikipedia. I'm taking this from the official WHO website. Illness range from mild to severe and even death. Hospitalization and death occur mainly among high-risk groups. Worldwide, these annual epidemics are estimated to result in about 3 to 5 million cases of severe illness, and about 290,000 to 650,000 respiratory deaths. Okay? If we make counts with those numbers, we have 10 to 13% mortality rate. Really? Of course not, because it's 3 to 5 million cases of severe illness. So for today, we are dealing with a little bit more than 1,500,000 cases of COVID-19, not severe cases, any diagnosed cases. We are dealing with less people who died because of COVID-19 this year, this season, than the average number of people dying because of the seasonal flu. Doesn't mean that we should not be afraid of COVID-19. Doesn't mean that we should not protect ourselves against COVID-19. I don't know, it's not my thing to decide. I just want to compare numbers, compare data, maybe ask some questions, provoke you, encourage you to ask your own questions. and search for your own answers. And then I will be very happy if you share those answers. And I would like to end this presentation with the cytokine storm again. So just to remind, diseases such as COVID-19 and influenza can be fatal due to an overreaction of the body's immune system called the cytokine storm. This is a reaction that is happening on the level of our bodies. But what we are looking at now in the world is a cytokine storm in the global measure. It's an overreaction to the virus. And I really hope that this overreaction or this reaction will not kill the patient. What we see is that the stock markets went down, the economy went down, people are at home, people are losing jobs, people are getting depressed, people are getting crazy. And it's been what? 3 weeks? Imagine what will happen in a few weeks from now. I hope that the cure will not be worse than the disease. Because for now, for today, if I'm looking just at the numbers, I'm looking just at the data, this disease doesn't really seem to be that much terrifying to me. But what I see outside of my window, this is terrifying. This is terrifying. Well, I really hope that the humanity will get out of this crisis better and stronger. But we can do this only if we search for the truth, if we believe in ourselves, if we believe in our force, in our own strength, in our own bodies, and when we start to think on ourselves, please question everything. In God we trust, but all others, please bring the data, okay? Stay well, stay healthy, stay good.